Counting us.
Get the fucking.
Hey. We are live. This is Go Born. Talk everybody. I'm Spencer and myself. Go ahead and say hello. This is our first live stream. We are going to mess up. We are going to fumble the word. This is a lot of problems. This is not a podcast. We didn't go over much of anything here. So everybody get ready. We are coming in and we're going in live here. So let's see. Spencer, where'd you go, bud?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you now. All right. Okay, so let's jump on it. We've got the notes here as well, and we got going on. The first segment that I can put on here is about going over. I'm so sorry. Going over Leach and fast and kind of mind and a little bit about him. Let's go on with that. Head coach for 20, 30 years.
I think I know what you're laughing about.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I'm getting off of it.
Okay.
Our number one fan.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know how to join. For viewers, I was just trying to see what it looked like.
Oh yeah. I'm glad that you did because again, we're live. Everybody's gonna laugh. Trying to crack up. It's gonna be interesting. But anyways, I'm gonna let you jump in what you got here on, and then I'll jump on, add some stuff into it.
Gotcha. So I think when you go to talk about Mike Leach, I think you got to talk about it as a collective whole. Bring a little bit of his personal life into it, as well as his professional college career. I guess you would start with, he was born March 9th, 1961, Susanville, California. There's a lot that, we could go into, but I figured we'd touch on some of the highlights of this great man's career and life. He passed away at 61 years old, and due to an undisclosed health issue. He's survived by 5 siblings, his wife, 4 kids, and 3 grandchildren. This man also attended Brigham Young University I didn't put the year that he was there. He played rugby for BYU in 1979 through 1983. I got some of the notes down for his collegiate coaching career. He started at Cal Poly back in 87. He was the O-line coach there. Fast forward a little bit, like I said, the highlights, to Kentucky in 97 through 98. He was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach. After that, he moved to Oklahoma in 99 as the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach there. And a lot of people might not know this, but he was the big reason why Josh Heupel went to Oklahoma. A lot of people don't know that Heupel was a quarterback for Oklahoma back in 2000, 2001-ish, and won a national championship with Oklahoma. But that's kind of what really helped Josh Heupel in his career as a quarterback. Then we're going to fast forward another year to 2000 through 2009. Okay. 2009 for Texas Tech. as the head coach. That was his very first head coaching job. I feel like he's. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got my mic.
That's like so that way we can.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it sounds good, bud.
Stop clicking.
Oh.
I can
He's clicking his freaking pen.
Gotcha. All right. So let's continue.
Stop.
My old lady's getting on to me about clicking my pen. I'm sorry. All right, so let's get back to it. After Oklahoma, we go back to 2000 through 2009. He started his very first head coaching job at Texas Tech at this time. Had a pretty good career. I want to say back in 2008, he was a Big 12 Coach of the Year. So that's kind of where he got put on the map at. He also got a Big 12 South Division title for Texas Tech back in 2008. And then we're going to fast forward to his next job for head coach back in 2012 through 2019. Won it 2 times. What are you laughing about?
It's killing you to do that freaking pen noise.
I didn't even click the pen.
No, but I can see it's killing you.
What are you laughing at?
It's a little.
It is.
It's cool.
Well, I'm not using my computer to be able to look up the stats and the information.
I've got everything pulled up here for my team. You know, I got him from Matt President to Cal Poly. Got him at Desmond, 1988. There's pretty much everything on this site that I'm on. Because you don't have to be on the actual side. Like,
Yeah.
And all those things. But I mean, you know, some people laugh, you know. That's so. I mean, you kind of laugh. Joke out of it. This.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. This is totally better than the podcast. I just got to get over me laughing.
Every time I look up from my notes, you're laughing. So
I could just see the temptation of you wanting to click that freaking pen.
and she's still grappling about me wanting to click my pen.
Because all I hear is that. It takes away from what you're saying. I hear.
I think it's funny. But yeah. I give it a few couple of
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of about him. I mean, right now, you know, playing rugby back in 1979 and 83 BYU. I'm actually using the phone to pick it up. Honestly. His overall record as coach was 158 and 107. His bowls is 8 of 9. You know, he's got first in the Pac-12, the Big 12. He's got Coach of the Year at AFPA in 2018. the George Muncher Award in 2008, Woody Hayes Trophy in 2008 as well, and then the two-time Coach of the Year in 2015 and 18, and also in 2008 he was the Big 12 Coach of the Year. So you have a lot of, and again, like you said, he is one of the reasons that Apple was successful, and he had a good. I mean, he was a nominee for the House in 2000. Unfortunately, I don't think he even lost that. I mean, I don't know. So that was in 2000. So back in 2000, he was a nominee, but the 2000 winner of the Heisman was actually. Oh wow! It was Chris Rich. I would have never thought. But that's besides. Anyways, that's how stuff we're thinking about. Coach. I think the funniest thing is because we're just starting out, sitting in the floor. I don't have any of us put together, and I'm just sitting there, just laughing my ass off. But yeah, man, I'm definitely excited about this year. I think that this is going to be bigger than the original podcast. As soon as I get my shit, and we can't cut on here. I mean, it is what it is. Like it, they'll hit the pause button, we'll just get off. But yeah, hey, you know what? Before we go into another thing, I would love to ask you, what are your predictions on the top four bowls?
That's so we're gonna start with Georgia and who is it? Ohio State. That's who they're playing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 38-28. I say that Georgia wins by 10. The next one's TCU and Michigan. I'm gonna go Michigan wins 30-17. I think Michigan ends up pulling away on that one. I hate to say it because I like Max Duggan, but this is going to be one of their, in my opinion, going to be one of their bigger tests. This is going to be the best team that they played all year long, and I think Michigan just has too good of a defense. And I could be wrong, but I think the loss of Blake Corum gives them more room to be able to move the ball and not just rely on their run game, but also rely on the passing game a little bit. Because I feel like they relied on Blake Corum way too much. And I think that's why he had the year he had. I want to go back to the Georgia Ohio State game. I think the defense is just going to be able to shut C.J. Stroud down for the most part of the game. I think the bulk of their points are going to be from the first half. But I just think the Georgia defense is just going to just blow them out of the water. Moving to the Alabama and Kansas State game, I think it's really hard to judge that based off of, because you're not going to have Bryce Young. It's not even going to be clear who the starting quarterback for Bama is going to be. I mean, I don't have the backup. Who was the backup whenever they had when Young went down? Do you even remember his name? Was it Milrow or something like that?
Yeah, you're right.
I want to say Milrow. I could be wrong.
I think K-State's going to beat them.
Do what?
I think Alabama can lose that game.
You think they lose that game? I think I don't know because Nick Saban is kind of a competitive guy. Like he's a really competitive guy. So I don't know. That could end up being Kansas State's main game right there this season. They're going to look at that like a bigger game than what it was against TCU. But I could be wrong. But I'm going to take Bama, but I am going to take it as a really close game. It's going to be within 7, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be a fairly low-scoring game. I'm going to go 24-23, or no, 28. That's a hard one. Let's go 23-17. 23-17 sounds about right for that bowl game. And then Tennessee and Clemson. I want to pick Tennessee to win all day long. I'm going to have my orange shades on for that one. But I still think that the offense is not going to miss a beat. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game for Tennessee. With the account of Jalen Hyatt being out, Cedric Tillman being out, I still think that Ramel Keaton, I think he's going to go off. I think him and Squirrel White are going to go off, and then I think Jabari Small has a good game, but I think Jalen Wright's going to have more yards when it's all said and done. I want to say that I think Joe Milton will throw for 320 yards. He's going to at least get 4 passing TDs. He's going to get a rush TD. I'm going to say 52. 52-31.
52-31.
Because I think Clemson is going to be able to score and take advantage of that secondary. But I do believe, and I mean, I get it's a new quarterback coming in, but I think that they have good weapons. But I think, and I hate to say it as a Tennessee fan, but I think it's just too easy to take advantage of that secondary. If we can have that defense that we had against like the likes of Kentucky and all that, but this is a different team. This is a better team than Kentucky. So I think they really get a hold of us due to the passing game, but I think we will be getting at the quarterback. I just think he's just going to make the accurate throws he's going to be able to make under duress. So yeah, 52-31 is what I said. So that's my predictions. What about yours?
I got now mine's going to be totally different from yours, but I've got OSU winning by 3.
You got who?
I got OSU winning by 3.
You just trying to make the Georgia fans mad, aren't you? That's exactly what you're doing. Go ahead.
Well, here's what I think, man. I think that OSU got embarrassed not long against Michigan. I think that we're going to come out the gate swinging because they have another opportunity. I think that Stroud is going to show himself, maybe, who knows. But I think that the lad, the Rangers, is going after it. I think that Michigan is going to win by 10 against TCU. I think that PBS is going to be Bama by 7. I think that the Dogs are going to win by 10. and the national title goes to the Wolverines.
I kind of think the same thing. I realistically, I'm thinking. Realistically, I'm thinking that Georgia is going to be in the national championship, but I think that there is a possible upset too. I think Michigan is a lot more real than people are giving them credit for. Just like most teams can possibly heat up at the right time in the playoffs, I think Michigan's that team. I think. Realistically, I think Michigan should have been number 1 in the final college football playoff rankings. I really do. I think they've had a better resume overall. They've killed all their opponents by more points. They've got the style points with it. I think their defense is pretty solid. I think they have a better defense than last year. And I don't know. I think this is their year, and but the underdog story. I'm really pulling for TCU. A lot of people are like, "Well, you should be pulling for an SEC team." Nah, if my team ain't in it, I realistically don't care who wins it, but. I think the salty Tennessee fan in me just does not want Georgia to win it. Is glad Bama is out of the playoffs. Don't really care if Michigan wins it, and I really don't want Ohio State to win it because they've been held to a high regard for so long, and they really haven't really done the body of work to even be in the position that they're in. I get people are going to say, "Well, Tennessee they've lost that." Terrible game against South Carolina. Well, guess what? That was in South Carolina. If you're going to say that Bama had 2 better losses than Tennessee, and they were both by, within a field goal, and they were on the road. Well, that was on the road. That was a hostile environment. I mean, that was South Carolina's bowl game right there. You could argue and say Clemson, but it looked to me like when you compare the games and you go back, that game just it felt different for South Carolina. They balled out.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Do what?
They absolutely do.
So, it's just, it kills me. There's a double standard to everything. You want to argue the one side of the fence, but then whenever it goes to a team that most people don't like, or because a fan just hasn't had that much reason to be proud of the success and gloat about it, that you just want to kick them when they're down, and it's aggravating. It's a two-way street.
Oh, wow. We have we actually have a chat section also with people from type things. I'm sorry, I just saw.
You did what?
There's actually a chat section. I didn't see that.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a where you can type stuff. Cool. All right. So instead of diving he's unfortunately taken off the NFL. I get it. You can't blame him because you don't want him to get hurt, things like that. But it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, you hate these things, but you understand why. But how do you feel about it? Do you feel the same way? Do you see kind of nothing?
So, anybody who knows me, or personally on a deep level, or anybody who's ever played like a sport with me, knows I am highly competitive. So the competitiveness in me, I would play in the bowl game. I would make my last mark, give that a little bit more legitimate reason why you should draft me in such a good spot in the NFL draft this year. But at the same time, man, that's what he worked his whole life for. If you read that message that he put out, you can see that it means a lot to him. You can tell it's a hard decision. You can tell that he has deep connections with everybody in that locker room. But at the end of the day, that's why he's there. It's to get to the next level, to showcase his talent, and to be able to get to that next level and make his money. I've seen this conversation a lot through since it all came out. Like, he said he would have an answer by this week, and a lot of people, it seemed like they wanted to support him when it was still a possibility that he was going to come back, where it seemed like he legitimately was going to be back. But then as soon as he let that out, a lot of people were kind of mad about it, but what would you do in that situation when you have the opportunity to go and be drafted in the first round of the NFL draft and make millions, support your family? I mean, that kind of puts it in a new perspective. Like, your family should come first. I mean, you can love the fan base all you want, but they're not going to always support you. You know what I'm saying? Your family will be there. So I'm not mad at him. I hate it because with him, I believe our chances are better. But I think we got great guys coming back. So I'm not mad at him. I respect it. I think it was a hard decision for him, but I think overall he made the best decision because look at Cedric Tillman. A lot of people wanted him to come back last year or this year. He came back. He probably had a better chance in the draft last year, but he was wanting to make it better this year, and he bought into what Heupel brought to Tennessee, and he thought that they were going to win a national championship, and they very well had a great possibility in that, but some things happened along the way. He got injured, and now his draft starts going down. So because of that injury, I'm projecting him about the second half of the second round. So it's my guesstimation on that one. So I don't blame him one bit.
I think so, man. I'm really excited about the up and coming Hyatt too. I mean, we've got Carter coming in, we got Nico coming in, a couple of receivers coming in. We got Bruce coming back. I'm pretty sure that we're retaining both of our running backs, right?
Both? Oh, dude, we're retaining all three of them. All three of them. We got Small and Wright will both be juniors this year. Or this coming year. Next year. They'll both be juniors next year. And then you got Dylan Sampson. He was a freshman.
Yeah,
and we all seen what he did. So, I mean, and then we got that kid coming out of high school that we flipped from Kentucky, Khalifa. We're getting him next year, and he's going to be a good power back. So we're good on running backs. And then there's talks that we might possibly be getting Dallin Hayden from Ohio State.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's what I posted. What am I talking about? Really?
I mean, it's not a guarantee. I wouldn't put my cards on it. But, I mean, he's from Tennessee. Knoxville, if I'm thinking. I could be wrong. But we have a chance on having him enter the transfer portal and come into Tennessee. It's going to be part of a huge NIL package deal, I'm sure, but
oh yeah, I agree.
I looked at his stats, man, and the games that he had a lot of carries in, or like more carries in, he was carrying the ball pretty well. He had 100 yards in the majority of the games that he actually majorly featured in. So
yeah, I'm excited about all of them coming back. I think that Bruce is a big thing.
Oh yeah, Bruce is coming back. I think he will.
Yeah. No, he's already announced.
Oh, he did. I must have missed that one.
Yeah, he did. And then we got the Carter, the 4-star back, I believe.
Yep, from Smyrna, Tennessee. Yep.
Yeah, and of course, Alabama was right there. He just made a commitment today, so that's awesome.
Oh, he was projected to go to Bama. Like for the last 2 or 3 weeks, he that was what everybody projected. But and the thing is, if you look back when he first committed, the first school he committed to, he committed to Memphis, which is an in-state school. But he decommitted, kept it because he started building up that profile, and he thought he had a better chance of something else. And then, he got Georgia. I want to say Georgia was an offer, Tennessee, Ohio State, Bama, and ultimately he chose Tennessee over Bama. Like that, those were the last things. And the crazy thing is, Bama was his last visit. So, that was the school that had the most recent impression on him, and to say that he chose Tennessee over Bama in that situation is insane. So that tells you a lot about what Heupel is building in Knoxville. He's having people buy in. I mean, one player that I'm hoping that we're able to flip is Carnell Tate. He's commit in for Ohio State. Man, I read his bio and his skill set. He would be unbelievable to have at Tennessee. Just imagine what we seen Jalen Hyatt do this year. Man, Carnell Tate would take it to the next level. He would probably be in the Heisman conversation, like how what was it, DeAndre? Mm-hmm. The Bama receiver, Smith. Like I think he could be that good or better. There's a lot of rave around that kid.
I think so too. I definitely do. I think that I think we're going to be able to. I think a lot of the times, they freak out if they don't have Hendon anymore. I think we're kind of different. You and I. I'm a little bit weary on. I love him to death. I just hope that he can come in and get it done. I mean, and if not, I hope that Nico is ready. It'll be good if so. I don't think the guy behind would go over Nico.
Oh God, no. I think the only one that would have a chance is Taven Jackson.
Yeah, that's true. I think he would. Hey, I mean, also there could be a portal quarterback coming. I don't know. It's a possibility.
I think this Orange Bowl is going to be Joe's his real chance to show what he can do against an actual good opponent. I mean, we all kind of believed that we were going to destroy not Missouri, but Vanderbilt. But after the South Carolina game, there's a lot of, what was going to happen. But I think this is going to be his test right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait until after this game to really kind of assess whether he's going to be the starting quarterback or whether Heupel is going to really consider, having I think he's going to have that compete for the position, competition for the position regardless. But as it stands right now, I think Joe Milton's more than likely going to be the starter. I think if Joe goes out and has a phenomenal game and throws 350 plus yards for at least 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, shows that he can be that Hooker-esque type of player, I think we'll be looking at her. And unless Nico comes in, gets build a little bit, adds on a little bit more muscle, a little bit more weight. I think the logical thing would be to set Nico for a year behind Milton if he balls out against Clemson, and that's what I would do. I would, because I mean, I want to say he earned that ride as a competitor. You know, there's going to be competition for the position. I understand that, and I think that's the right move. But if he goes out, he does get in this game, and then he shows that he's progressed in his game in the spring, then I think he earned it. I mean, he could have went somewhere, been a starter somewhere else, but he chose to be, and that's another thing. What I think, being a leader is making the sacrifice, knowing that the person behind you stepped up, probably played better than you were going to play that year, and he didn't falter. I mean, he was right there. He stayed true to Hooker and was you probably argue his number one fan, to be honest with you. I mean, they're like brothers. They support each other on and off the field, no matter what. When the one was behind the other, they supported him. They were the first on the sideline to congratulate him on a touchdown and a beautiful throw. And then when he went down, the other came in. Same thing. There's no ill will. There's no, nothing. It was just pure brotherhood. And I think that's what Tennessee offers. They offers that family feel within the program. And
I agree with you.
But I think Joe Milton, I think he's going to ball out. I think he ended up being the starter. And I'm okay whether he is or not. I think Heupel knows what he's doing enough. I think, with him being a good quarterback back in college well enough, and I think he knew what he had with Joe Milton and what he had with Hooker, that he was confident when one went down, he had the other. And I think he knows how to really, look at the year that Hooker had. I think he knows how to develop talent, especially at the quarterback and receiver position. And it looks like he's doing well with the running back position as well. So.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got some comedy in here. Do we have any people that you know? I don't know a few that are Gator fans.
Give me 1 second.
You got it.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to So, I'm going to share this. I'm going to mute my mic so that everybody can just look at this real quick. Might be on the growing and then shut that off. But I'm just going to share this with everybody. Yeah,
While you're doing that, I want to touch on the whole Jalen Hyatt thing, just to kind of give people a highlight of what he was able to offer this year for the VOLS, what he was able to accomplish. Going in depth with that, I was having a conversation with an actual Florida fan at that, and he had the kind words to say that he believes that Jalen's probably going to go top 15 in the draft. And I kind of argued. I'm thinking, maybe the second half of the first round, but because I felt like it was just a 1-year elite season. But then when you look back last year and you had Kyle Pitts, or not last year, but a couple of years back when you had Kyle Pitts going off, he was number 4 or 8. So, it could happen. You never know. And I feel like Jalen Hyatt probably might have had a better year. But here's some numbers. Again, receiving touchdown. He had 15 That's first in the FBS and the SEC. Receiving yards per game, 105.6. That's fourth in FBS rankings and number 1 in the SEC. Receiving yards, 1,267. That's third in FBS and first in the SEC. The SEC is another thing where, like, it's crazy to say that he's behind somebody else in the whole grand scheme of the league. And then the SEC being the number 1, but it is what it is. You have some elite talent in other conferences. 30-plus yard receptions, 15. That's first in all categories. 40 yards plus, 11. First in all categories, 50 yards plus. First in all categories, and then 60. So those are some numbers to consider. What you could possibly see if you put him in the right situation in the NFL. Okay. I mean, I'm a Hyatt fan. I mean, reading that note that he put out, man, like, you knew he was a physically talented individual, but that just made him sound that more articulate with his words as well.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree. Found the clip here.
Okay.
Guys, if you are not excited about Nico, you gotta start getting talking about this guy. So I'm not saying anything about it, but okay, Hendon plus like, I like to put guy freaking hate. I'm just gonna play this quick and see if you can just get you guys excited about him.
That style, though. Look at the pajamas. I'm sure a lot of people are saying this right now, looking at him and not taking him seriously, man. But you wait until he gets on that field. I'm telling you, he's going to open a lot of eyes.
I think wow.
I do too. I was looking on the On3 and on his profile. He has a comparison of Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who watches football knows who this man is, and came out and had a phenomenal rookie season. So, but here's some stuff. I mean, he's a high upside signal caller. That's always a good thing. He may have the best physical tools among quarterbacks in the 2023 cycle. Has one of the stronger arms in the cycle, generating considerable velocity of his throws in camp settings. Tall with a slender build with room to fill out. Boasts a quick, clean throwing motion, despite his longer arms. A bouncy, fluid mover who doubles as a top volleyball player. I mean, he's still developing in a lot of areas, but like we've stated, Heupel is a guru, it seems like, when it comes to quarterbacks thus far and receivers. So I'm excited to see what he does with Nico.
Yeah, me too.
Buckeyes just landed a top wide receiver in the 2024 class.
Oh, wow.
Wide receiver Jeremiah Smith.
Wow,
Look at that.
I think to end this live, I've got something for us to watch. This will kind of close out everything. I don't want to. I want to do a tribute video
for Leach, if that's okay with y'all. Is that cool?
I'm okay with it. I also want to say another thing that Nico's he's considered to be a better. He should have been the number one quarterback in the 2023 class over Arch Manning.
Yeah, they moved him to 2, but I think
Was it 2 or 3?
Well, they had him at 3.
Oh yeah,
Posted earlier. He moved.
That's right.
To 2.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a tribute for
Mike Leach.
Yep. I'll go ahead and start that now. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen again. Yeah, I just want to hear that. That's the last thing, and I hope everybody enjoys the show. And again, we're not professionals whatsoever, so we're cracking up, laughing. This is the first time we went live too. But I have to say, man, I think absolutely, man. Hey, look, and this is the first of many. I think that this is the movie. This is
I had a blast.
yeah, man. And I'm sorry if people look at me and they smoke cigarettes on the podcast. I don't care, man. I'm not professional. I'm just a piano here, stupid. But guys, I hope that everybody has a wonderful night. Some food that just arrived. I'm gonna go eat with the now. But this was awesome, man. We might do this in a day. I mean, I'm just this is awesome.
Just waving your hands everywhere.
Yeah, man. Hey. But yeah, hey, y'all have a great night. And Spencer, you have a great night.
You do, man.
And I'm gonna post this on the page. I really am. I'll post it, and this will be our first video cast.
Aren't you supposed to have two?
Oh yeah, two. You know what I mean? Like two of them.
Oh my god.
We had some fun.
We gotta work out the bugs. We'll get our craft. We'll perfect it. I promise.
But hey, man, have a good night, buddy. I'll get this loaded up and we'll get going. Okay?
All right, man. Go Big Orange.
Go Big Orange.